Hi, I'm Paul Perdue, and I am the infrastructure nerd.
And I'm Mary Jo Boyd, and I'm a legal technologist. There are all kinds of different ways that you can customize
You
Worldox.
can set up different user groups, and you can give those users or groups different levels of functionality. You can give them access to different parts of the file structure.
The WDAdmin program lets you do all of these things, and usually it's accessed just by an administrator. So users, you can, kind of follow along and see what kinds of changes we can make, but this is really a program that the admin goes into and sets those preferences for you.
And can you show us how that program works?
Yeah, I will. So the WDAdmin program is found in your Worldox directory. So I'm just going to go out to navigate where my Worldox folder is. This will be out on whatever network drive that you've installed that to. So I will go into here and I just start typing WDAdmin and it takes me down to wdadmin.exe. This is how I'm going to access it here. Now, if you are the administrator, you may have a shortcut to this on your desktop. You can get into it that way as well. Or if you're not, if you don't already have one, you can just right click and send that out and have a shortcut. That way you don't have to come navigate in here every time. But if I double click on this and open it, it's going to open this little window for my WDAdmin. Now I'm just going to go across here and show you what all the different features are here that we can do. The first thing in the edit is probably the main place that you can go. We can set our email properties here, our field tables, file security, group security, which is going to lock down things for each group that you set up. This is where you update your license. We also have passwords that you can set so that you can not let people exit out of Worldox without having a password. That way they have to save things into Worldox. You can also set a password for your WDAdmin so that only certain users can get into WDAdmin. Your preferences are here: profile groups, quick profiles, users, and integration. And I'll go into these real quick in just a moment, but we'll go across and tell you some of the other ones. When you first set up your Worldox, a lot of times we're using the import feature to get some different tables and profiles in. The users, this is where you would add a user. So if you get a new user to your firm, you can come in and add them in here to Worldox. This is another place that you can get to security. It is under Edit, and we have our group security here, but you've also got it over on the Security tab. Profiles, again, when you first set up Worldox, this is generally set up then. You don't usually come back in and add profiles. That's not true. You could add profiles, but you don't usually come in and edit them too often. Occasionally, you might add like an HR profile or a forms profile where you're going to store all your document forms. So this might be a place that you may come in and add profile groups. There's also the field. This is, again, something that we usually set up at the very beginning. This would be like your doc tables for your doc types, things like that. Audit Trail, this is where you can come in, and I think we've done a previous webinar on Audit Trail, so you can come in and see all the different things for tracking what changes have been made on a document. So those are your basics. Now I'm going to come back under our Edit screen, and I'm going to go down to our Group Security. This is the first level of security that you can come in, and I'm going to cancel that. We don't want that. But we have some user groups we can set up. So we can set up a manager group, we can set up a confidential group, you can set up any kind of a group that you want. And these groups then can be applied to different features that allow them to have access to different things. So that's kind of a really nice way to lock down certain areas of Worldox by groups instead of by individual people. You also can have users that you set up and make sure that they are available and see what rights they have just by clicking on them. So if I click on me and I click on what my allowed features are, what my blocked features are, things like that, I could actually come in and look at those different things. You have the features themselves. So all of these different things are things that you can lock down. So address rules, bookmarks, categories, file lists, email. There's all different sections in here that you can actually choose and say which group or users are allowed to access. You also have the profile groups in here, so maybe certain users aren't allowed into a whole profile group. You might have a confidential profile group for the office, and not everyone is allowed to be in it. Only certain people that are members of the confidential group are allowed to be in there. So this is where you can lock down whole profiles. We also have something called ethical walls, and again, this is a place that you can set up things maybe all the way down to the client level or type of document level that you can secure things down. So group security is a huge one that people can get into and do. You also have preferences. So if I go into my Worldox preferences, this is where I can have a little more access than I do from the regular Worldox program for a user standpoint. You do have a Worldox preferences under each Worldox profile when they open, but that's just for that user. If you're a manager, you can apply some of that to all users, but here you have a few more options in admin that they don't see on that regular Worldox window. So there are all kinds of different preferences that you can turn on and off on whether they can do different things. So email, this isn't by user, this is overall, but you can say, to prompt for a quick profile on a move, or if you want to copy and move options, different things. Do you want to allow non-salvage delete or allow delete shredding and things like that? You can say yes or no. So there's all kinds of different topics in here that you can go through, and you can see if you want it on or off. So that's a place to look right away in Worldox WDAdmin. Again, under edit, we talked about quick profiles. You can set those up here. Users, integration is a big thing. With integration, this is what programs are going to actually pop Worldox when you save a document. So if you have an old version of Adobe or an old version of Word, or a new version, you want to come in here and you want to take a look and see if these are on and off. So a lot of times these are off when you get them out of the box, but if you have multiple users, maybe somebody's still using Word 2003, and you have somebody else using 2007 or 2010, you can come in and turn those past versions on or off, or check and see. Maybe you get a new program in. Maybe you get a new PDF program, something like that. You can look in here, turn that integration on, and make sure that it's popping Worldox. Occasionally there are some that aren't in here, and those require an additional hook that we install. And if you don't see your program here and it's not popping Worldox, you can give us a call. We can help you out with that. So basically, this is the place you go to see all of the different kinds of settings that you can do for all of your users. So WDAdmin, edit is the main place. Probably users. A lot of times I see people coming in to edit users. That's probably where you're going to be most of the time. It can get kind of detailed, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions or anything, obviously you can give us a call on that, but we'd be glad to help you with any setup or things like that, or if it gets really involved with your security and you want to make sure everything's locked down exactly how you want, we can assist with that as well. So there you go. So there you have it, the WDAdmin program and all the functions that it can do to help you customize your Worldox program. And that's just one more way that we help you worry less
and practice more.